2, 1. This grand opening is important because as we cut this ribbon today, I'll be thinking of the youth and their families who will be walking in the doors, exploring their new opportunities, finding their futures, and hopefully finding their passion and their grit and their true belief in themselves. We are the Salem-Keizer Education Foundation, and we are deeply committed and beloved by our Salem and our Keizer Chambers of Commerce. That's why it took two. SKEF benefits our community by coming alongside our students, their parents, and their educators to assist them in any way possible. The way I like to think about it is if you're thinking about your own kid and you do anything it took to help them reach their goals and their hopes and their dreams, so will we.
Hello and welcome to Insight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
The Salem-Keizer Education Foundation has just moved into a brand new building. Well, it's all right. It's been around since 1867,
right.
But hold on, we're going to get there with a lot of new programs and a lot of exciting things going on. So would you please welcome in studio our guest, whom we just managed to get in between all these things going on, Krina Lee. And
Thank
she's
you.
the Executive Director of the Salem-Keizer Education Foundation.
Wendy, Ross, thank you so much for having me here and letting us showcase the really cool things we're doing for kids and families in Salem-Keizer.
So tell us about the Salem-Keizer Foundation, the Education Foundation.
The Education Foundation is a community-based nonprofit organization that exists to support, to come alongside our kids, their families, their educators, and our school district to make sure that every child every day has the opportunity to be awesome. If you want to get into mission statements, it's talking about collaborative partnerships that enable every kid to experience wonderful things. I like to think of the foundation as kind of the conduit. We are so blessed in this area to have a community of individuals and organizations that are very passionate about kids' success.
You bet.
And we are able to be that conduit to get it out to the 43,000 students that we have in our 65 different buildings.
Wow.
So the Education Foundation, everybody knows us best by the Awesome 3000.
Oh, sure.
Awesome 3000.
And the Crystal Apple Awards.
Crystal Apple Awards. We put on the district spelling contest. We brought Lego Robotics to Salem-Keizer and now put on a national qualifying tournament.
Wow.
Our biggest program by far, though, is our Enrichment Academy.
Yes.
And that is our before and after school programs. And we are in K through 12. We have high school kids and all of our programs absolutely have academic support, college and career mentoring is as important. So if you want to be a welder, we're going to mentor you how to get that certificate as much as if you were going to Stanford. But then the other things that keep kids engaged and want to keep coming back to school. Okay, we had a 10th grader come to us and say, I want an astronomy club. We said, bring us 10 more kids that want an astronomy club and you can have one. He brought us 14 more kids. We also have aligned our programs so that we qualify for the federal Hot Supper program.
Wow.
So when you realize that 71% of our children in Salem-Keizer are on free and reduced lunch, sending them home at 5 or 6 o'clock after having a hot supper and then all that enrichment, maybe they did hip hop, maybe they played volleyball, maybe they got someone to help them with their math homework, and then we're feeding brains and bellies through the Enrichment Academy, and that's just such a wonderful spot. The School Supply Depot, our Bazillion Books for Kids program, we've given away over 1 million free books.
Wow.
So, and the list goes on.
So tell us, you've moved.
We have.
Tell us all about how that got going.
Well, there's a really wonderful story about how this all happened. We had been, when I came to the foundation 12 years ago now, we operated out of my house. SKEF did not have an office. We didn't have a facility.
Wow.
And so, and that made it hard to grow, which I was charged with, so grow this foundation. And so when the space downtown became available at where we were, it enabled us to really bring in volunteers, bring in other supporters, gave us some space to really archive. It was wonderful. Past board members started bringing me shoeboxes full of newspaper clippings and so forth. So we were able to bring it together in one place. But we quickly grew out of that spot. We've grown in the last 12 years to me being their first employee to now nearly 200 employees.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
and
Right.
I know that sounds like a
Whoa.
startling number. There's about 22 full-time people.
Okay.
The rest of those are part-time folks that are incredibly wonderful in our after-school programs.
Sure.
Or they might be referees in our youth sports program.
Okay.
I forgot to mention Awesome Youth Sports. We have 136 basketball teams right now, K through 12, K through 8. And what's really, really compelling about 136 basketball teams is that each of them have 2 to 3 volunteer coaches.
Wow.
Do the math.
Yeah.
How many people care about their kids to get out there and coach them? And it's not a pay-to-play program. It's in the neighborhoods, and anybody and everybody participates. But I digress. Sorry.
No, hey,
So,
wish
so
we
our
had all
growth,
day.
our growth was one thing that we were having to watch, because I had 5 or 6 people that were sharing a conference table, and we had no ceilings in that office. It was not the most conducive environment, and it was hard for meetings and so forth. But at the same time, there were some pretty significant cuts to the school district budget. And we don't exist to backfill or do any of that. We just exist to come along, again, harness that energy and passion of the community. And all the college and career specialists were cut. And that was at a time when, we have 4 counselors maybe in a high school with caseloads of 500 to 600 people. And you might have in one school somebody that was really great at helping fill out the FAFSA. And you might have in another school somebody that knew every scholarship in the universe. You might well, we decided that we needed to bring together a college and career regional center so that we could bring that brain trust together and deploy it out as it was needed. So if you needed one thing, you could access it. And so those 2 conversations were happening about the same time. And I sat down with Mike McLaren, Kathy Moore from the chamber, and Kathy McInnes, who is our one college and career specialist. I sat down with admissions folks from Western Oregon University and Corbin, and I said, does this make sense? What if we did bring together a regional center where kids and their families could access all sorts of things? And they said it was brilliant, let's do it. And about that time, we had been next door to the Starkey-McCully building that had sat vacant and blighted for about 10 years. It's been on the historic registry for a long time. It's a 151-year-old building, but it did not have any running water. It didn't have a working HVAC system.
Oh my.
Had asbestos, and we bought it. We bought it.
That was in 2014.
Yeah, 15 was when we closed.
15
yeah.
when you closed,
And so we bought it so that we could begin the preparations of a capital campaign. And once again, this community stepped up. So if you look, and if we had to write a check for every single thing that would have to happen, we would have been talking in excess of $3 million. And here's the other thing about the scale. We were in 3,500 square feet. The Starkey-McCully building is 14,000 square feet.
Wow.
Hooray!
It's 7,000 square foot footprint, but it's 2 floors.
Yeah.
So we began talking to folks. We put together this incredible legacy society that were going to help us raise the money to do this. We began dreaming and putting the vision together. Then unfortunately, Mike passed away suddenly.
He did.
And it was only fitting that he was part of that original vision. So the center, the Mike McLaren Center for Student Success, is a major program and part within our walls.
What a legacy.
And it's a phenomenal legacy.
He'd be thrilled.
I know he would be. I know he would be. But the other cool thing that all of this was happening simultaneously is we were able to bring Aspire, ASPIRE, Aspire to Salem-Keizer School District. Aspire is Oregon's official college and career counseling mentoring program. And it's done with adult volunteer mentors. And it takes about an hour and a half to get trained. And we check you out, and then we put you in the school of your choice, or where you hopefully say where I'm needed most. And I'll say that because when we introduced Aspire, North Salem High School alone had over 600 students sign up and request an Aspire mentor.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And I can tell you incredible stories. You know, if you're the data person, I know that we've had Willamette MBA students helped us really dive into the data after the first 2 years of Aspire. And on average, in all of our high schools, if you have an Aspire mentor, you have an 18% higher chance of graduating and graduating on time than if you don't have an Aspire mentor.
What's the key to that?
The key is the one-on-one. You know, you and I, we might have been very fortunate to have adults that knew how to navigate the college application process. We might have had somebody that says, okay, you want to be a welder, then how do you go get your certification and your OSHA stuff and stuff? Or you at least had innovative folks around you that could go help find those answers. We've got a population, unfortunately, that we've got a lot of first-time high school graduates. We've got a lot of first-time college goers, a lot of first-time, and they need help navigating the system. And to tell you the truth, the system's gotten harder to navigate.
So many of us are aware of Summer Slide for elementary students, but tell us about Summer Melt for older students.
Yeah, what is that?
Summer Melt, thank you, that's a great question. Summer Melt is something that I've just recently become aware of as a national phenomenon, and a phenomenon not in a great way. So you're right, we know about Summer Slide. During the summer, kids that aren't actively engaged, they're going to kind of go backwards a little bit in their progress in math and reading and other subjects. Summer Melt is about when a student in June crosses the graduation stage, so this is about summers, and they have already applied to and have been admitted to some other program in September, whether it's a four-year university, a community college, or certification program, and they don't show up.
Oh.
So they've done all this work to get there. They did all the work to get there, and something happens during the summer. And what we have learned is that kids don't know how to navigate that system. If they're hard, it's hard enough getting accepted and so forth.
Sure.
But if you don't go to orientation, there's huge percentages of kids, if you don't go to the summer orientation, you're likely not to show up. If you don't know how to navigate signing up for classes, if you don't know how to buy your books, if you don't know how to figure out your transportation, in some cases, childcare. And so we piloted a program this summer with our Aspire coordinators and had one person work specifically with 4 of our high schools and students that were going to go to Chemeketa. And it was about, how do you navigate that process? Did you know you needed to fill out this form? Did you know you needed to do this? And kind of helped do the cheat sheet and started making phone calls and knocking on doors. It worked.
Did it work?
It worked. We had over 80 students that were going to fall off that cliff.
Wow.
Going to get repurposed and made sure that they showed up at Chemeketa in September.
Wow.
So guess what? We're going to continue. Well, go look at those numbers and we'll get that done.
You have a story about Serena.
I do have a story about Serena. So Aspire, I just, I gave you data, 18% higher graduation rates, double-digit increases in FAFSA. So, but if you're the person that reads the annual report from the front to the back, you like to hear the stories. And we told this story at our annual back to school lunch in September. And we have full privilege, or full permission from her and Stephanie to share the story. But there was a young lady, North Salem High School last year, senior, 3.96 grade point average, all accelerated classes, AP everything. She sang in the choir, she swam, she attended Enrichment Academy. She was very involved every single day. She was in the after-school program as a senior in high school.
Jeez.
And our wonderful coordinator, Adrian, looked at Serena one day and said, "So where are you going to go to college? Look at what you're doing." And Serena said, "You know I'm not going to college." Serena is blind and homeless.
Oh.
Serena is blind and homeless, but she still has accomplished everything I just told you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So Adrian says, "Oh, that's not, we're not taking that for an answer." And he paired her up with an Aspire mentor who happened to be a Willamette University student. And Stephanie said, "Let's get on this." and she helped her. They applied to 4 schools. Guess what? She got into all 4 colleges, 4-year programs. And then Serena, in disbelief, as she's couch surfing and navigating with her legal blindness, and Stephanie says, well, now we're going to get it paid for. And they started filling out scholarship applications and started doing that. Here's an Aspire mentor working, and a coordinator that said, I'm not taking no for an answer.
Sure.
And Serena says, okay, I'll do whatever you say. So the Ford Family Foundation called and said, we'd like to meet you. So the Aspire coordinator and her mentor got her in the car, drove her down to Roseburg, where she met with a panel of folks. She walked out of there with a 90% scholarship through her PhD to anywhere she wanted to go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word.
We said, okay, Serena, where are you going to go? She says, well, of course, I'm going to stay at Willamette University so I can be an Aspire mentor too.
Oh.
Oh.
Can't make this stuff up.
Wow.
So
What a
people want to know,
beautiful
give me the
story.
facts. How much does it cost? What are your percentage rates? What's it happen to graduation? What's it happen to FAFSA? But then let me tell you the story.
Yeah.
Because someone once asked me, we were presenting, they said, really? Does a mentor really make a difference? And I tell that story, and you know it does.
Wow.
Yep.
That is really something.
So
Thank you for
that's-
sharing that.
That's just one of the things that SKEF does.
And then it's multiplied over and over and over again. So it's not just sort of one shining star that you
Right.
have. It's all the kids
We
in the
have
community.
so many stories that we
Wow.
could share.
And that's amazing because that's right here in our community, which means
Right here.
that
Right here.
That those students are going to go on to enhance the community.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
They're going to go on and enhance. They're going to have great lives. They're going to have children and know how to navigate the system, and they'll know how to find resources. But I want you to think about, if you've got 600 kids at North Salem High School that want a mentor, we're out there recruiting Aspire mentors all the time, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And the program is so well defined, it's like handing you a cookbook, and you just follow the instructions.
How do they get in touch with the Salem-Keizer Education Foundation?
Well, first of all, come see us. We're right
Yes.
downtown. You can walk there from here. But our phone number is 503-364-2933. Or you can visit our website. A new website is coming, so be patient with us a little bit, moving and
Change is coming.
Launching new programs and serving 43,000 kids every day.
But it's
Few
still
irons in the
Well, yeah,
fire.
got a little bit going on.
It's going to be the same website?
Yes.
So that would be
Education
SKEducationfoundation.org.
It's a long one.
That's all right. I
Yeah.
got it.
But pick up the phone and call us. Come say hello. We'll probably talk you into volunteering while we're on the phone.
That would be great.
I don't see how that could happen with Krina.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, this has been such a delight having you in again on Insight. We've
Thank
had
you.
you here before talking about the Enrichment Academy. We're going to have you back again.
I would
just
look
love
forward
that.
to it.
So much happening. We can't get it all done in
And
one
I'd
time.
like to bring some of our volunteers and our mentors and have you learn more about Aspire.
That'd be great.
And
Wouldn't
some of
that
the,
be wonderful?
Some of the successes that we've had.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it, and let's get some video too.
Okay, it's a
All
date.
right. Well, thank you for joining
Thank
us
you.
today, and
Thanks.
thank you for joining us on Insight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
We'll see you next time.